Yeah, I will. I will. I'm moving around. I'm sitting down now. That's the one that's on the table. Maybe. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's the same or not. All right. I'll talk to you later. Boy. Business, business, business. All right. Let's have it, family. Let's get to talking, man. Oh, my mom. Please turn that down. They trying to figure out if that's Keys playing or not. Y'all be trying to get too much going on. What's happening, family? How y'all feeling today? First of all, man, I know my energy is high, super vibrational energy, man. Let's get to it, man. I'm in LA. We got an LA date coming, but let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about some stuff, man. Whew. Let's talk about this real quick. So there's somebody that I did post on my page, and that's somebody to keep up with when it comes to the Israel-Palestine situation. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be a representative and or spokesman on the situation from 100% informed or comprehensive level, because I don't want to speak, it's haram to speak, about things that you are not 100% about. The one thing I do know 100% that the right side is always with the right side, and this is what you can quote me on. The right side is always with the oppressed. Whatever it is, the right side is always 100% with the oppressed. Now, in every war, there are going to be both sides killing. America is like that. Now, this is the first time in history that I've seen the justification of the slaughtering of innocents on one side, right, in my lifetime, based on people choosing sides on whoever they're closest with or have business dealings with. Because if somebody says that, hey, we're at war with America and they want to come and destroy Americans because Americans have done all sort of atrocious things throughout history to people. Now, do you think terrorists are justified in their bombing and killing innocents in America? Absolutely no. Right? So I don't see how you can create justification that, hey, one side, done something, and this is most of you all do not have an ounce of historical knowledge because you're not speaking from an informed place. You're speaking based on rhetoric of propaganda. And the rhetoric of propaganda makes everybody sound the same because the uninformed takes information from the oppressors. So whoever controls the what you get to hear, the information that comes to your airwaves, you're not speaking from an informed place. You're saying this. Everybody out here saying the same thing. And it's like, wait a minute, that's just your knowledge. Your lack of knowing makes you go get information from the mainstream, and then you insert that as a lack of actually having an understanding. And instead of researching, which doesn't require years, it doesn't require weeks, right? We live in a day and age where information is readily at our fingertips. You can go on ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, hey, give me a non-biased overview of the situation from the beginning for the last 100 years of what's been happening in Israel, Palestine from an informative viewpoint. And say, GPT, I know nothing about it. It'll at least get you caught up to date. Will at least get you caught up to date. Now, this is not something that's been available to people throughout history. You couldn't just go on a device and get an overview, a breakdown report of something instantly. You couldn't go on TikTok and have somebody give you information. You couldn't go to Google or YouTube. Had to go to newspapers and we had to go to the TV. And whoever had their ability to disseminate their message on the TV, which is based on money, then that was the side of the story that we got. It's not the times we live in today. So if you say you're ignorant on a situation, it's because you don't want the information, because you don't seek the information, so you would rather be ignorant, which I understand. Because who wants another war to think about when we have so many going on? This is why I said all you gotta do is give people the information, but nobody wants information. That's not what propaganda is about. Propaganda is not about having critical thinking. It's about throwing feelings and ideas at you so that you can ignore the facts and go along with it. These things started a long time ago. The propaganda machines, they started by the Russians. They were mastered by war, generals, right? And they were all utilized, right, to justify the killing of an ethnic cleansing of millions of people throughout history. Come on, man. It's not too hard to stand on truth. The thing is the sacrifice you do when you stand on it. But guess what? Standing on truth becomes more easier when the more people that do it. When you have to be the only one do it, it looks like you crazy. It looks like you crazy. But when everybody's doing it, oh, okay, now it makes sense. But see, let me give y'all a breakdown the way this thing works. And why a lot of you all don't want to do it in the first place. A lot of people psychologically don't want to be the first and they don't want to be the last. You're afraid to be the first because you have to be revolutionary. You got to step out there into the unknown. And when you step out on the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen. So you fear. The ignorance makes you fear. You're not stepping out there with God. You're not moving in faith. Right? You're not saying, God got me, so I'm going to stand up for God. And the only way you stand up for God is by speaking truth. You cannot stand up for God and lie. You can't stand up for God and be on the side of a liar. It's not the way it works. God is always on the side of truth. That's clear, right? So when you step out there, there's a framework for this. There's a true framework. And this works in business, this works in life. The people who step out there first are called what? The revolutionaries. They don't need to be told. They don't need to wait to hear somebody else do it. These are the ones that step out there. They step out there and say, you know what, I don't like this. This shit is bad. It's not good. They don't need to see the whole world do it. Then the second group are the ones that say, you know what, I see a lot of people standing up for this. I'm going to stand up too. So the first group empowers the second group. Then the third group are the ones that say, damn, I see everybody, there's a lot of people out there standing. You know what? Shit, I'm about to go stand with them. So when they see it become standard and enough people and the majority starts to rise, then they step in as well. Then the fourth group are the most dangerous group. Those are the people, they don't matter how many people they see out there doing it, they won't get involved. They won't stand. It's the same thing in business. No matter how many people they see using your product, listening to your music, watching your show, buying into your service, they have decided it's not for them. Those are the people you don't waste your time on. But the reason I say they're most dangerous because they are often the most vocal. They are often the people that got the loudest voices. Yet they wasn't going to buy in the first place. They wasn't going to step in the first place. They was never going to do anything. And they get mad for you doing something. Those are the worst type of people. Why you ain't doing this? You go look at them and they ain't doing nothing because their job is to complain about what you do. It makes them feel like they're doing something. Right? So society is a script. Most of these things are managed by the higher ups in the world when they think about how to tinker with reality. They're building quantum computers, and we are in the future. We are in the time where extreme things are happening that impact us on high dimensional levels. We are in the future. Future meaning that we have quantum machines and robots and artificial intelligent machines and bots and farming and all sort of different things happening that the average person can't even fathom. And they say, well, that doesn't affect me. Yes, it does. Your very mentality is a construct of the higher up. You don't even know it because you don't realize that it's affecting you, which is making it worse. It's like eating bad food every day, right? Oh, it tastes so good to you. Don't know that it's the accumulation of the cancer. The illusion looks good, tastes good, feels good to a lot of people. They don't know that's the very thing that's toxifying their mind. So we have to be careful, right? Because there are a lot of different things. And, this is a platform of social media. I can't say everything I want to say on these platforms. Otherwise, I wouldn't have one, right? If you go out there and you just say everything you want to say, you don't have one, you cannot reach anybody at this point. So being strategic with your truths, being strategic, and this is why I ask questions, because questions allow people to think for themselves, right? If you ask people, how does it start? Ask people, what is the answer to this? Ask people who are the innocent. Ask people who are the oppressed, right? Ask people, what is the resolution? Ask people who is in control. Ask people who decides war. Ask people, just ask the questions. The questions lead you to greater realizations than what you're being told. Forget what you're being told. Forget the collective statements by the celebrities. They mean zero. This much. They mean nothing. See, the thing is, The reason why you're going to get a celebrity to do something, because you realize that celebrities, people are connected to their fan base and they have a certain level of trust. So without them actually having to say details, right? They give you this high level of thought. Oh, we stand with this. That's a hashtag. Hashtags work very well as ideas of propaganda to push upon people without them actually asking. So you appeal to, the emotions. But in war, you got to appeal to the logic. Let's think about this. Because you can easily get people emotionally tied to oppression. Oh, yeah, it's dangerous out here. I know it. So individuals like myself, we seen as the outlier. But I don't want to. I want this to be normal. I'm not trying to be your revolutionary, person that just the only one doing it. Everybody should be doing it. This is everybody's responsibility, not some. And when the masses put the responsibility on individuals, all they're trying to do is create sacrifices for the things that they don't want to do. If you consider yourself to be a good person, anytime something happens to oppressed people or innocent people, regardless of what side, then you speak on it and say, that's wrong, that's wrong. It's not some philosophical conundrum. It's not some hard thing to process. It's very simple. If my own family goes and decides to oppress some people unjustifiably, I'm gonna be like, y'all tripping. What is y'all doing? Why are y'all doing this? That's not good. Y'all don't want us to be on the side of evil. We don't want to do the wrong things to people. We can't justify that. Because the way you gain power, and this is probably the thing to me that sums up it all. The way you gain power is the way you maintain power. So just think about that. The way you gain power is the way you maintain. If you gain power through peace, you can maintain it through peace. If somebody tries to break that peace with war, right, then you can fight for that peace once again. So when things are gained ill-gottenly, then they have to be maintained ill-gottenly. It's very, very simple. When they're gained through power and violence and destruction, then the foundation of them, right, are built upon these pillars. And you have to reinforce those pillars to keep it going. It's a principle of reality. It's a principle of the universe that when one understands and they get why things are happening. So it's a very simple dynamic. And why does this matter to a young melanated man? First of all, I'm an international and global thought leader. I don't know what you thought. So I am concerned about things that come across my desk about humanity as well, because I'm a human, right? That makes you good when you care about things of humanity. There's no way a person can politicize humanity and be like, why do you care about this and that and the third? Well, I'm a human. It's just that simple. Life is life, right? So if I see an innocent baby being killed by somebody, I'm going to hate that. I don't care who's done it. I'm going to hate that. But then when you start to study, then you can understand why things happen. You understand cycles. You understand history. You understand politics. You understand relevance. You understand leadership. And the goal is to take yourself out the illusion and see reality like the masters of the world. So you're not at the bottom being emotional based because of decisions that are made by people at the top whom you have no power over. Your goal is to see things for what they are, not for what you're told them to be, so you can see through the lens that people want you to justify the actions that they must take to win their war. There's the war, then there's their war. The war is what's happening to the people. Their war is the agenda for the war that's happening between the people. So, whose agenda, whose ideas, whose control? We have conversations amongst the people, but the people only have power if they rally against the powers that be. But beyond that, the people are having opinions upon the powers that be, but they don't make decisions upon, right, what is dictated and what happens next. And then when I look at the relationships between these powers and how they trickle down on Black America, then you start to see a realization. Man, go back to Mike Brown. Just study. Just study who who trains the police out here, whom we had the largest civil rights movement in history just a few years ago about. It's not that hard. Information is not even hidden anymore. People just don't seek it anymore. We be acting like things happen in a vacuum, like they just begun this week. No, it's been happening. happening. Keep yourself informed, and you don't have to believe lies. It's very simple.